Welcome to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. I'm your host, Shanice Harris, and this season we'll meet leaders with connections to Girl Scouts serving in our community and beyond. Together, we'll hear stories from Girl Scout alum and their adult supporters who are making the world a better place using their courage, confidence, and character. This is the Make the World a Better Place podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. I'm your host, Shanice Harris, and I'm here with a very special guest today, Kim Dodson. She's the director of Mission United with United Way of Hampton Roads. They're a community-driven organization with a mission to connect people and businesses with resources that help solve problems too big for any of us to solve alone. She's also a former colleague of mine and a longtime Girl Scout supporter. Help me welcome Kim.
Thank you, Shanice. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. You, as I mentioned, are a longtime Girl Scout supporter, and I can appreciate that you've been able to approach Girl Scouts from a few different facets. So that's why I thought you'd be such a great guest to bring on. Would you please go ahead and start off by introducing yourself and some of your history with Girl Scouts?
Sure. Well, I have been involved with Girl Scouting for a very long time. And as a matter of fact, for years, I used to tell people that I was kicked out of my Girl Scout troop as a child. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I found out that I actually wasn't kicked out. It was that my parents never signed me up. So I was a tag along who really should not have been there. But I did get to become a Girl Scout as an adult. So I actually worked for Girl Scouts of Racine County from 2000 to the end of 2005. And I started there as their development and marketing director. And at that time, I was young, I was single, didn't have kids, but truly grew to love what Girl Scouts stood for, became a lifetime member of Girl Scouts, and I have been part of Girl Scouting ever since.
I love that you found a way to get connected even after kind of um that initial experience. You said, "No, I'm a Girl Scout.
That's right.
We're going to continue this." This goes to show you've definitely got the drive of a Girl Scout. So can you share a bit about your role with United Way of Hampton Roads and some of the work that your program does with Mission United?
Absolutely. And, I think that this work is really related to what I learned through Girl Scouting and being part of making the world a better place. What some people know about me is that I am a military spouse. My husband, Price, is going to be retiring later this year with 29 years of active duty service in the United States Navy, which I am very proud of. And that is what really drew me to the work that I'm doing at United Way. So I direct a program that is called Mission United. We connect veterans, military families, and and support them with access to resources that they need. The Hampton Roads area is not at all short of resources, but it can be very overwhelming for individuals to navigate and know what's out there. So Mission United, we kind of exist to be a lighthouse, if you will, in this sea of goodwill and all these resources. And so what we do is we help connect, if somebody just doesn't really know where to start, where to go, we can get them a referral and help make sure that they get somebody who is actually going to answer the phone. We don't want to give somebody just a sheet of a list of resources. We really want to make sure that we connect them to a person. The other part of what we do is for individuals who are looking for a little bit longer term support and want to get help getting off their feet. We have a long-term mobility mentoring program where we can set you up with a one-on-one coach who is going to meet with you to help you set goals and to provide those referrals and resources that you need, whether it's goals set around increasing your income, maybe employment, education, other wraparound services. So a lot of really great things. And the bottom line is we want to see our local veteran and military community thrive.
That's a very powerful mission. I'm wondering, what are some of the most common resources that you see someone coming in and they need support in this way?
Great question. I think people would be surprised at how many junior enlisted military families, veterans, are really needing financial support. Our probably number one request that we get is for emergency financial assistance. We are trying to help keep people in their homes, making sure that they have basic needs met. So for junior enlisted families, it might be helping to connect them to resources that they might be eligible for, which even include things like WIC, SNAP, benefits like that. It could be helping a transitioning service member get on their feet. As they are getting out, there's not much of that support system anymore. You go from one day having a housing allowance, having health insurance taken care of, the next day you're not. So we refer to Virginia Department of Veteran Services for a number of different areas of support. We used to have emergency food and shelter funding, which is now currently on hold federally, but that is something that we were able to provide as that emergency one-time assistance. And that right now is still probably the number one request that we get is for emergency financial assistance.
So whether you're facing this really critical situation or you're experiencing a transitional period with your family and you don't know where to get started, there's a way they can get help with this. I can really appreciate Mission United, and you know all about transitions and going from place to place and how it can become a challenge just to find your local grocery store in town, or where's the pharmacy, where's the vet. So
That's
those
right.
type of things. Can you talk a bit about some of the different places you've called home as a military family and how you managed to stay involved with Girl Scouts no matter where your family found themselves?
That is a great question, and I'm so glad that you asked it because that's exactly where I was about to go with our previous conversation here. Is that Girl Scouting has been such a wonderful thread through my, career, if you will, or my experience as a military spouse. As I mentioned, when I first started in Girl Scouting, I mean, this was even before I was married, before I had a child. And when Price and I first got engaged, and, I made the decision to leave Wisconsin and move to Louisiana, one of the first things that I did was start looking at, okay, where's my local Girl Scout council? Could I get involved and could I help volunteer? And this was right post Hurricane Katrina. And then I we ended up moving to California because of Hurricane Katrina. The military did not keep Price in Louisiana for as long as he thought. So then we went to San Diego. Well, lo and behold, during that time, I became pregnant and I found out that I was having a little girl. And so immediately I knew that I was going to get Kelly involved in Girl Scouts. And so in San Diego, joined Girl Scouts, and we were in San Diego for about 6 years. And then we moved to Hawaii. And Girl Scouts was great because before we even moved to Hawaii, I reached out to the council, got Kelly's membership transferred, found out about programs and events that they were having over the summer. We were going to be there in the end of July and was able to get Kelly signed up for events, was able to get connected to a troop. I was not the troop leader at that time because Kelly kind of wanted a break from mom as the troop leader. But I really found my social circles through Girl Scouting. In San Diego, I started getting more involved with the service unit. I was a troop leader for the whole time that we were there. I was a council trainer at the council and trained on program trainings like diving into daisies, blasting into brownies. But that's really where I met my friends and my circle because we didn't live in base housing at the time. When we went to Hawaii, even though I wasn't the troop leader, similarly, I volunteered with council, got involved at the council level, met other women that way, did get involved in the service unit, eventually became the troop leader there, and then also became the service unit cookie chair for a few years as well. And then we came to Virginia. And before I, even moved here, we were looking at our house on Zillow, and I pulled up the map and I saw Girl Scouts of the Colonial Coast. And without even looking at the house, I told my husband, go ahead and put an offer in on that house. Girl Scouts is right there. That is how confident I felt that I would have some type of support, social system, social connection, just knowing that the Girl Scout office was right here.
That's such a powerful testament to the ways that even adults grow in Girl Scouting. It becomes a family affair. It truly does. But as an adult, just the skills you gain, the relationships you build, the people you meet, I think it's fantastic that you found it so valuable that you decided to stay connected with us all of these years. And we're so lucky to have you. And you went on to even work for our council here on a couple of our teams. Very talented staff member, might I add. And we're just so lucky to have you as a volunteer. You still are kicking it with us. We didn't scare you away. And as you and Kelly went through the program together, and as Kelly got older, can you talk about some of the ways that you both managed to stay involved together, or how older Girl Scouts can continue to find value out of this program?
There are, as we know, a lot of leadership opportunities that are available for older Girl Scouts. And I know that it can be a challenge. For our family, it was a challenge when we moved here. Kelly was a freshman in high school. And at that age, it just seemed like it was an awkward time where Kelly just wasn't interested in starting a new troop and getting connected to a group that way. But we did keep Kelly's membership active. And for me, what I found was I'm not going to force it, but I just want to keep that connection open. So we kept Kelly's membership active, and I really let Kelly drive their experience in Girl Scouting. If you wanted to volunteer at an event or get involved, participate, you could. If I had one regret or something that I don't know if I would say regret, but in hindsight, if there's one thing that I would maybe do differently, is that I probably would have put Kelly in a troop and just let us figure out whether the troop was a good fit instead of just kind of leading without. And the reason I say that is because now Kelly has just graduated, is heading off to college. And there have been a couple of times where Kelly has mentioned things because when they were younger, they had ideas of what they wanted to do for a Girl Scout Gold Award project. And there have been times where it's like, man, I wish I would have done that. So I think I was really trying to be supportive in a way of like, hey, I'm going to let you kind of drive this experience. But I do think there is a balance between, how to help keep your teen engaged and involved, even if they are doing that independent Girl Scout or what we used to call Juliet style of Girl Scouting available. But I think for our teens in particular, it's so important for them to have that support and that community. So if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have just said, oh, well, you know what? I went ahead and got you in a troop, and why don't you just try it out and see instead of kind of waiting. But I do think there's, the troop adds a lot of value at that during the teen years. And I think even if you want to do it individually, there are a lot of ways to keep your teen engaged in Girl Scouting and, just providing the opportunities for leadership development and growth and volunteerism.
Absolutely. You pointed it out or said it perfectly. There are very unique ways that teens and Girl Scout troops can encourage one another and push each other towards their goals. So I think that that is a really great example of how, as your time is getting divided, we've got sports and everything going on, there's a lot of value in connecting with people who are like-minded and have some of those same goals, especially when it comes to service. Like you mentioned, the Girl Scout Gold Award, you really need a support of people, a team
Yes.
of people behind you. So it's really fabulous as you get older to continue to have that network of people. And it goes into adulthood. I'm so lucky to have the friends I've made and know the people I know because of Girl Scouts. It's truly fabulous. It's a wonderful organization, and it's made possible by great volunteers like you, Kim. So we're so great. Uh, we're so lucky to have you, and I want to thank you for joining us on the podcast today.
Well, you are very welcome, Shanice. And if I could put in one more plug for Teen Girl Scouts.
Absolutely.
I need to mention Girl Scout destinations. Kelly did a destination program and attended Space Camp in Huntsville, Alabama. That was such an instrumental experience, had such a great time. And so just another way that teen girls can be involved in Girl Scouting is through the destination program. Great opportunities.
I love that. We love a worldly experience. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time. For more episodes like these, visit our website at www.gsccc.org